Hi, Nuthan.
Hi, Malini.
How's your winter going?
Good, good. Like a lot of people, I have gained winter weight, and I'm trying to figure out what to do in terms of eating and food
Yeah, yeah.
and
You
not
know,
gain weight.
I know. It's always like from Thanksgiving right through December we have a birthday added in there, but Christmas and New Year and then we get into January and it always feels like you want to kind of overhaul not just your diet, but overall well-being, self-care. Um, it's always been a tough time for us too. But one of the things I think we did better this year is to let me backtrack a little bit. It always felt like from Thanksgiving all the way into pretty much the early part of January, it was a license to eat. It is like this is celebration time. There are a lot of sweet things that come, but because you kind of restrict yourself more earlier parts of the year, it's cold, it's not that many things to do, that you feel like, okay, here's a lesson. And of course, you get a lot of gifts from people, which many times end up being edible stuff. So I just feel one of the things that I've felt is when we have occasions, honestly, the actual occasion is only a couple of days. Thanksgiving is a couple of days. That doesn't mean it's a license to eat for a whole week or 2 weeks of foods that we don't normally eat, right?
It's not just that though, because yes, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think you are correct. Uh, but people often worry about leftovers is one thing in some
Very
of
good
these. When
point.
you make good food, then you don't want to
Waste it.
waste it. So that's one thing. The second part, which it doesn't happen to us as much because we are sort of part time and not sort of actually part time, and there are not that many parties and stuff we go. But people from Thanksgiving to New Year, there are lots and lots of parties,
That is true.
and so that's where people go
Yeah.
and eat. Um,
So you're really talking about two different things, right?
yeah,
I get this leftover thing, and there is a point to that. Sometimes you have to throw away leftovers. Okay, I mean, you just have to get into the habit. You can freeze certain things, which I actually did this year. Some of the really good desserts, I actually wrapped it, put it into the freezer that we could take out. Other things, I said, okay, you know, do I want my garbage bin to be full, or do I want me to be the garbage bin to eat things that I've already enjoyed for a couple of days? Okay? So being able to throw away stuff is important. The other thing I really noticed was, and this really helped, is after 2 days of thing, you just went and had about 5 days of super clean eating. It was almost like, you know, some extended fasting, eating really clean food. So it's like kind of resetting your body before
the
the
next meal.
next the next excessive meal.
Yeah, because throwing away, I would want to push you back in it. You and I are at a stage and situation that's fine. We don't mind throwing away food. But not everybody can afford to throw away food, good food. And second, um, sometimes it's mentality. Mentality you can fight. So one trick could be is if you just not worry about leftovers beyond one day and freeze it. What you can freeze, give it away to, particularly if it is a good uh, leftover in a sense.
Yeah, no, I went somewhere where somebody had disposable containers. And, if people want to take what they think, which is fine. But many times, nobody wants to eat that rich food. This is where you get stuck because everybody has enjoyed it. And I'm trying to give away, and nobody wants to take
Yeah, I
anything.
know.
Okay? Because it's got cream, it's got butter, and they enjoyed the meal. And everybody says, tomorrow I'm going to think. So then I'm the one stuck with this.
You know, my daughter-in-law does something wonderful, and I really like that about her. That she would, when the leftovers are there, she would actually either take it to work and give, or if you're living in a high-rise building and you have staff, you give it. And then some people would give away to shelters. Now, the one good thing you can do is we are all want to make a lot more. We want to make sure that we don't run out of the food.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've started doing it, and it helped, that I make the same food in 2 or 3 containers and only take 1 container at a time. So that means the second container that is a leftover
Is clean.
you can give it to people.
That is a very good idea, actually.
So that is to make it in batches or even order it in batches.
I mean, you're obviously talking about a bigger setting, but when you have a home thing with 10 people, you're just making like one pot and really not going to.
No, you can make it in one pot, but you separate the serving into 2 pots.
Yes.
And
Or
tell
you
people
can.
there is you put the second part right next to it so
Yeah.
people know there is enough food.
Because sometimes what we do is we actually serve it out. So nobody touches the main piece, like yesterday what we were doing. But yeah, no, I think those are good ideas. But the thing of actually, okay, so we've eaten it and we've tried to give it away and we've frozen it. But what are we doing for our bodies is what I really want to talk about.
I think that's the most important part.
Right.
That's the new thing.
Yes.
So talk about
So
that's-
basically, like I said, what I really felt like if I've had a couple of days of, now one of the things, even a day that I am going to have a big meal, okay? Now I happen to do intermittent fasting, which you can do anywhere. But what I will do is sometime, like say yesterday we entertained, right? But somewhere in the, like say around 3 o'clock, I made sure that I had some really, sort of, I would say, I call it functional foods, but some kefir, a little chia, things, but basically gut healthy, some protein, some good fats, so that when I eat a sort of, a heavier carb, heavier, we didn't eat too much sugar, but a heavier carb, heavier sugar meal, that's not the first meal of the day I'm eating. I think people make a mistake whenever they say, oh, I'm going to have this great meal and I'm going to starve. I'm going to not eat all day. Or people have this habit of saying, hey, don't eat, wait for the thing. I think that is a major mistake because your body, when it hasn't been eating, and the first meal it gets is a high carb, high sugar meal, that really throws your body out of sync. So it's really important to kind of give yourself one small functional meal before you have sort of a big, more luxurious meal. That's one thing. The other thing is always the day after to have a super clean day. The kind of day where you're drinking ginger lemon water, you're having some yogurt, you're having some what I really call gut healthy liver and kind of a detox type foods. Nice, a clear soup with herbs in it, something that basically like resets, and try and do that for the next few days till the next one. I found that that's a really helpful, I mean, it's not a trick, but that's something that we did this year, which I really felt, you put on a few more here, but it wasn't that. And you also feel so much better because when you're not used to eating, high carbs and high, you feel very sluggish. You feel tired.
So, to summarize, I think we have two new things that I think, because this is a topic, probably the internet is buzz with how not to gain weight in winter, and exercise, and all of those things are good things people do and people suggest and things. I think what our 2 cents is, from what you're saying, is A, that the new thing is that when you are eating, make sure that the next day is the not eating day, because that way you balance out your calories. So it's a balancing the calories during the holidays thing, and that is helpful. And the second one that we talked about is make sure that your leftovers are,
Don't go all into you.
they don't go into you. You share that leftovers, and so make in different batches so that the one that is not consumed can be given to food pantries or shelters or anywhere where needies. Because the problem is, when what you were saying is that we tell people to take it, so it's the haves giving it to the haves.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's,
Although, I mean, not all places take cooked food. So that's,
we have
you
to
know,
find things.
yeah. And some places do and some places, but but anyway, the bottom line is you shouldn't be the receptacle for all leftovers. That's my thing, which, is kind of tough, but we can train ourselves.
Yeah, thanks.